Wait. This video is all about the first set of wheels meant specifically for making power and putting it onto the ground with the all-wheel drive 4-rotor. I'm not gonna waste your time. Let's get right to it. These are Mickey Thompson. They're street and strip. They're meant to have a little bit more rigidity than their ultimate wheels, but these will be phenomenal on this car. They're 285. Hang on. These are the front wheels. My bad. Let's take a look at the real meat. These are the wheels for this car. These are 325s. They're all 18-inch wheels, but look at this meat. I can't stretch my mind around how wild these are. These are DOT legal, so these are street tires, but look at this. The amount of surface area that when the car's sitting on it will be capable of transmitting torque to the ground. Of course, it won't be at this 0 PSI level. These are going to hook. I have a set of these on the 3-rotor. They're 275s and they hook beautifully at that power level. One of the most important things you need to do when you have an all-wheel drive car is make sure that all of the wheels are the same height. In their lineup, honestly, the only 2 wheels that are the exact same height, and that gives me a couple different options. One, the front wheels now do have a little bit more banding. Watch this. It still is going to hook, but it's going to have less percentage of grip than the rears. That's on purpose, is that we will be able to do 50-50 torque, but I want to make sure that the front system, which is slightly weaker, is capable of slipping before the rears. With the way the weight will transfer to the back on a launch, that really is automatically going to occur, but I also wanted a little bit more rigidity for turning. These are basically what are on the car now with my Michelins, which are wonderful, but look at that, just nuts. These are 27-inch wheels, meaning that they're 27 inches from here to there. I'm supposed to run a 26, but again, you can run it as long as all of them are the same. The transfer case is happy. That's a nuts amount of material, but it's not gonna help because these are only 18s. Those Vossens are 19s. So, can't have the meat without the potatoes. This right here is the new front wheel for the car. All of this at retail price, which is what I paid. $1,500 for the wheels here and $1,800 for all the rubber. My goal here is the lightest one-piece aluminum drag wheels that are easily replaceable in case of dents, dings, anything. Basically, these are the wheels that are meant to do work. I was going back and forth between Forge Stars and Welds, and Forge Star did a good job winning me over with availability and honestly price. You guys know I love a 5-spoke rim, and this is just that. As for the car, this is the same offset. They won't poke, they won't stick out any further, but let me show you how this looks on the car. This is gonna go on the front. They're very light. They're actually meant for rear wheels on a C5, C6 Corvette. There we are. That is the new drag wheel for this car. Capable of being clearance for all of the turning needs, but also just meant to really put some serious power onto the ground. These are basically the same size as the Vossen wheels, except these are what the car was designed for, 18-inch rims instead of 19. It really doesn't make that much of a difference, but when you're going for a 26-inch tall tire, you're now eating into the sidewall that can absorb your launch. So the Vossens are meant to floss and flex and have your drip on. You can tell I really am in that world. This shows you how everything is supposed to come together. Nice and clean, nice tight tolerances. This brake rotor was actually designed for an 18-inch barrel. So is obviously the caliper. You don't want those touching. So this just looks so much more right. This isn't my favorite design. The car just looks like it's gonna do work. It is beauty by function, not just trying to look cool. These are beautiful, very light, but what about the big boys? I am sweating. I'm so excited for this part of the video. This is what gets me excited. Don't be surprised when they look identical to the rear. I'm not a very creative person. They're not staggered in that sense. A lot of planning went into this, what you're about to see. The box is already much taller. Oh my God, that doesn't get old. That is just a thing of beauty. I will say before I pull it out and show you how long it is for my OnlyFans, I'm not a huge fan of two-tone. That was never intended. This is pure function. It just looks clean to me. Let me show you what the beautiful part of this rim is. Oh my God. Jeez. The offset for this outer part is the same as the front wheels. So the car will look the same from the front, but this is where the magic happens. You're getting an extra 2 inches of rubber from the ET Street R's, but you're also having the rim that can support that. So let's take a look at this. I'm gonna put this onto the front wheel. It will not let the car turn, but I wanna show you a comparison. That is not gonna work on the front, but that shows you just how deep this rubber will be in on the wheel. That is not meant for that. Oh my God. Okay, let me show you them side by side just to really see how beautiful this is. They look the same, they are not the same. That is a considerable difference. These are very similar to the Vossens. That is my new rear tire. I could stare at this all day, and that won't get it any further to being on the car. There's certain things about this car that is just art, and I hate having to put it all together to make it work. I just want to put that up on the wall. It's beautiful. We're gonna load up all 4 tires and all 4 wheels or rims or whatever word some of you guys are gonna try to roast me with. We're gonna take all of those down to Com Tire and get them all mounted. Wait. That's not my car. Let's see if I can get this Canadian curling. Gotta get the little shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. It is a wild sky, but we're over at Com Tire and it's okay. They behaved. All right, so these are the fronts. 10-inch fronts. These guys work their magic, and then we'll have them tomorrow morning. Even though it's 1 in the afternoon, I am still way too exhausted for the amount of lack of sleep I've been getting. But I'm out at Com Tire, and I'm here to pick up the front and rear wheels, the drag wheels for the 4-rotor. Oh yes, one of the fronts right there. Oh, wow. No. Well, with that out of the way, it is now time to mount these to the car. I just want you guys to see how exciting this moment is for me. This is something I've wanted since I was designing the very first suspension back in early part of 2016. So this is a moment for me. So it's such a simple moment. You gotta enjoy it while you can. What a insane difference. Nice. Let's enjoy seeing what these wheels look like on the car. These are fully inflated to 35 or so PSI. You will not have a drag tire like this at 35 PSI. So what we're seeing is a little bit of the rounding. When it gets set down, obviously it's gonna look a little bit shorter, but oh my God. We've got the front. Now it's time for the big, huge, best part of this. Oh. Just for size comparison. Actually, I have to trim the fender real quick. There you go. That's how cool. Look at that fitment. That is definitely race focused. But let's talk about the real race fitment. Wow. Now, admittedly, These rear rotors were meant for a 17-inch wheel. I did not know they don't make 17 by 12 or 13-inch wide. That's just not a thing. We have the same outer fitment as they did before, but it's not going to do it justice with how it's expanding or it's ballooning. It's going to end up being 2 inches wider on each side, but the 295s are on the left, the 325s are on the right. And like I said, as soon as this thing touches down, you're really going to see just how much meat that is.